Hello, my family. I greet you. Welcome to another one here on Truth and Love the Church, where we speak the truth in love. So, my family, do you remember this?
Bushiri is on the top list of those people.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Tshwane Showground. I'm the one who was filling up that place with more than 20,000 people. I left Tshwane Showground
With 1 million?
I'm coming there.
Mfundisi.
Yeah. I'm just showing you Bushiri.
Okay.
Yeah. If I was him, you know, with his character as Solomon, I would have done extremely damage to Bushiri because I had opportunities. Give me a chance to explain.
Go ahead.
There are things actually.
And that same Antonio.
Can you shut
and I
up
couldn't see
and
Antonio
you have
anymore.
your time?
He's trying to play a victim. That's what he's trying to do.
Look.
He's trying to play a victim. Did you
Are you
get
going
the
to allow
money?
this? Okay,
How
then let
should
me
you-
speak on
Why
this
should
with
you
you.
receive money
So whatever
from Bushiri?
this
Okay.
boy ran
You know
from his
where that money is
country
coming
because
from?
he was poor
Do you know
there.
where that money
He
is coming
found
from?
an opportunity
Don't
here
play- do
in
not
South
play the
Africa
victim.
to try and
Do
make
not-
himself a
do
name.
not play the victim
and
here.
at the end of the day,
Do not play the
he's
victim
still
here.
part of those,
You're
of
trying to
those
play the
people.
victim. You're
So
saying
let
he
me
destroyed
speak
your
and
church.
get on
Do
and
you have a
ignore
church?
this
Don't play the victim
because
here.
it's
That's what you're
whatever
doing.
because you see, we must give each other time to speak. And this small boy is
You're the
speaking.
problem with the church.
Look, if you are not
He's
hosting
the problem.
this, I
You're
won't
the
allow
problem
this.
with the church.
Mfundisi.
No, I won't allow this.
This is
for-
the problem. This is
You
the
have
church.
his time to
This is
speak.
the problem with the
No,
church.
I won't allow
Okay,
this.
thank you.
No, I'm not going to allow this.
Okay, let's
No, child.
You get the money.
hold on.
You have your time.
Solomon,
No, Solomon.
let him have. Let
You
him
are
have.
not a Christian. You don't have the fruits.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Everybody has
Okay.
their time.
Okay, Mfundisi.
I can't just come here
No.
and did you. I'm explaining
Have-
to you
have
how
your-
did I meet, and then he's
have it.
speaking.
Okay,
no,
Solomon.
I'm not going to allow this
Mfundisi, please.
because I don't want to end up losing my. I will leave him to carry on.
Talking about respect,
You understand?
right? You
He's
disrespected
taking
me.
over. You are the.
Talking about
You are
respect.
the. You are the boss of the show.
Hold on.
You are the one who calls the shots.
Okay.
I'm not going to listen to
Okay,
this.
Mfundisi. Okay, Mfundisi.
No.
You are right, Mfundisi.
You call the shot.
So this was the argument that started brewing, when we had these different personalities discussing or talking about the person of Prophet Shepherd Bushiri and the like. And we all know what is actually befallen Prophet Paseka Mboro. We know what has been happening, He has actually been denied bail.
Appeared briefly before the Palm Ridge Magistrates Court in Ekurhuleni.
You shall remain in custody, no bail is fixed for you.
As you know, my family, he's actually one of the people who were instrumental in the, driving away of Prophet Shepherd Bushiri from the nation of South Africa. All right. And we have Prophet Angel, Prophet Bushiri's father. This is actually what he said as to what could be the way forward. I saw this video. I believe it was maybe from a live service back then from 2020. And I believe he was actually talking about, people like this who connive with other people to target a minister, persecute them because of jealousy and the like, because it's actually jealousy. You can actually hear from this clip where you were saying, I was packing this and this stadium, and you can actually see that when Prophet Bushiri became popular, because of what God was doing through his life, this man was no longer relevant. You become relevant by preaching Christ, not by the number of people you gather, all right? But I'm just using, their own terminology.
One of the people who brought me down and destroyed me. Bushiri is on the top list of those people.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Tshwane Showground. I'm the one who was filling up that place with more than 20,000 people. I left Tshwane Showground.
You heard him right. So it was just jealousy. So let's hear what Prophet Angel has to say concerning, the way out for this particular individual. What does he have to do? Because things are getting worse.
The Lord saw the wickedness of men was great in the earth, and that every intention of their thoughts of their heart was only evil. So your intentions have to be correct. That's what the Bible says. It says God came to destroy land, and he found one man who had no intention of evil. So he was not planning to hurt nobody. There are men of God right now planning to fight other men of God, planning to kill other men of God, planning to run other men of God out of their town, planning to run out other men of God out of their country. You are a man of God by running other men of God out of their countries, by running other men of God out of their churches, by running other men of God out of their systems, and you sleep well at night. You have some kind of demons. You sleep well at night after getting another man chased from their ministry, chased from their church, chased from their land, chased from their country, chased from their town. You say, yes, the Spirit of God is on us. Wow. The best thing you can do is when you see you have done wrong, I'm sorry. Move on. Leave that place. I've done wrong so many times, and I've admitted to the people that I've done wrong to me, like, look, guys, I'm sorry, I did wrong. I jumped to conclusion and then to confusion. And guess what? Let's call it quits. This is not good. This is not good. I'm moving. Then I move. And that's it. And you can, one or two times you can, you don't need to be, he did this again today, so I'm going to revenge. I'm going to revenge. Bible says, what will you be? The day Jesus comes, are you going to go? If you are going to go like this character, you don't go to heaven because your church members say you are holy. No. You have to be blameless on that day. And I, for one, I decided long time ago, messed up a lot of times, but I decided, finally, I made a decision. I can't miss the rapture. I cannot afford. Paul says, what if I have preached to many and I myself be a castaway? That's what Paul says. Says, what after I have preached to men, I become a castaway.
So you heard in my family. So we also had one of, he was once a spiritual son to Prophet Bushiri. He then came out also, I believe it was a week ago. Some of you were actually sharing with me. He wanted me to make a comment about it. Remember, my page was hacked back then, so I'm really trying to play catch up, I actually didn't upload it on our backup page. Our backup page, I'm actually using it to cover some contents that we can cover on this page, all right? So this is actually a person who came out to confess, saying that, they were used also to bring down the man of God, to make sure that he's arrested and the like. So this is what he actually has to say. And I was actually shocked that he actually made mention of other ministers in South Africa. May God really help the church. So you tell me what you think about this after watching the full video. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. Meet you in the next one as always. God bless you.
I have to say it, and at the end of the day, this thing needs to come to an end. Most of you know me since 2017 to say. I've been doing a project of exposing the prophet Major One, and it started in 2017. This is how it started. I still remember very well. It was during October. There was a guy, actually there was something that I was doing in church, and which was not in good books with the prophet. So the prophet seeked to rebuke me. Then there was a guy called Daniel Butelezi. When he heard that I was reprimanded, he came to me. He said, can we do something? Because by that time, it was the time that he was also fired, something like that. He came to me and said, can we do something to put this man in danger? Then I say, what do you mean? And by that time, I used to know Daniel as one of the secret agents. Like, he used to say he works for near national intelligence in South Africa. So he said, if I don't help him in whatever he wanted, he was going to make me to be deported and for me not to be in South Africa. And since I left my country, I came here for greener pastures. So there was a lot of threats that were surrounding his offer, and I could not do anything but to oblige to his request. So this is what happened. He took me one of these days. I still remember I was still staying in Pretoria near the Gautrain. He came. He said there are guys that he wants me to meet. And I'm like, who are those guys? He says, people from national intelligence. So we can create a certain story about the prophet. I'm like, okay, that's fine. Let's do that. Since he was He was giving me some few thousands, you understand, by that time. And he was also putting a threat that if I don't do this, they will take me back home. And, you know, these things of you be arrested, all these things. Though I was legal in the country, but, you know, then I dared to it. He went with me and we met a certain guy by name Ngobeni. They used to call him that is one of the guys in national intelligence. So after meeting Ngobeni said, let's look for girls, you understand. That's the time that Lorraine, there was a girl who was working in media, her name was Lorraine. It was after she was not seen in church for a couple of times. So I just remembered that there's a girl called Lorraine. Then I called Lorraine, and I first called Lorraine on my own since Ngobeni and Daniel told me that you need to look for girls that will say that they've slept with the prophet. Then I'm like, okay. Then I went to Lorraine the first day at her flat it was in Little Manhattan in Pretoria West. Then we spoke, and Lorraine agreed to say she can say anything because I was with Butelezi, and you know there was a firearm, so she was kind of threatened, you know, with all the things that was happening. Then she said she can do anything. Then after some weeks, I was meant. They took me to walks in Pretoria in town, where I met a certain captain called Murebi. And the day that we met is the day, what really shocked me was the day that we met, it was the day that they made me to sign some certain forms, and they asked for my passport. And they said, we are registering you as an informer, and we'll be giving you money, of which they gave us, me and Daniel, some money at some particular time where we were signing the money to be an informer. And they were saying we must go and look for girls that have been raped and by the prophet. And we continued doing all that. We did that. After we did that, we were told if the prophet is arrested, like if they really arrest the prophet, they were going to freeze his accounts. They told me, Shamin, and these other girls that if the girls that I was going to bring, they said if they were abused, of which they were never abused, it was a fabricated story. They said we need to get to a point where when I go to the girls, I need to tell them once the prophet is arrested, they will do this thing where they will freeze his accounts. Once they freeze his accounts, they will share the money to us. You understand? So the money that what do you call it, Pumula gave us was something like 5,000, sometimes 5,000, sometimes 5,000 Daniel. She used to say for transport and your airtime if you're going to meet these victims. So it continued like that. But for me to go to Ngobeni, for me to go to Pumula, apparently Ngobeni said he's directing us to a Hawks captain by name Pumula. And when we get there, we started going to girls. We did not go to girls. We were going with Pumula to the girls to take statements, and they were writing, you know. And the main agenda was for the prophet to be arrested by that time, for him to be arrested. Then Ngobeni said, this other day, Ngobeni came, he said, why is it we want him to be arrested while at least we don't do the proper thing? You understand? I'm like, what's the proper thing? It's like, can you tell him that we can offer him help? Because there's a time that when we were doing those things, I went back to the prophet, you know. Then Ngobeni said, why can't we help this prophet? There are warrant of arrest against him. Why can't we help him? Then I'm like, I don't know if they're warrant of arrest. You want to see their warrant of arrest? It was Daniel, Ngobeni, and this other white guy. They said, let us go and reflect the prophet's passports. They went and they reflect them. Then after some time, I heard that even the prophet at one point even said in church that his passport will reflect. And every time, you understand, they started saying, this Bushiri guy must give us money every month, because we are protecting him. Then it happens until I told the prophet some of the issue and of the Pumzile, that actually the Pumzile, what happened was I went to Wheatbank first because I got a message from Facebook from this other girl. She said, no, I also want to speak something about the prophet. So we went to Wheatbank. When we got to Wheatbank, we realized that it was a mother and a daughter, and they said, no, we need to get money from the prophet. We will also have our story like this. Then I then called Murebi. Murebi obtained a statement which was not true, that statement, you understand. When they obtained the statement, life started happening, everything started happening, and then they said, we need to look at the issue of money laundering, you understand. That's when I still remember Alex, the former GM, you understand, came in. He said whatever he said about the prophet, but the main reason was just to spite him and to bring him down, because people were saying, this guy is here and he's making money and he's not giving us money. So after that, with this GM thing, that's where GM met some other guys, the other part of police, the Maretti and the Duplessis. They met. They started doing whatever they were doing. I was not much involved in the money laundering thing, but Daniel was the one spearheading everything, because Daniel used to say whatever he says goes. Then, as I was recruiting girls, since we were told if you recruit them and once the accounts has been frozen, you get your share. As we were recruiting these girls, that's the time that I was called by Makananise. I went to Makan. The person who made me to go to Makananise was this other brother of mine called Sean. We went, we were there. Then I was really shocked whether Makananise was told something about me or what. The day that I go to Makananise, the first service, he came to me, he prayed for me, he said, God said you are hurt and I need to take care of you. Then he just offered me a place and he said, you are my son. Then when I was at Makananise, because there were girls that were now coming to Makananise to look for a platform, to tarnish the name of the prophet. So when we were there, Murebi, that's when she went there so that she can also get stories from Apostle Makananise. You understand? Like people that are talking to Apostle Makananise about the prophet. So that's when they started speaking. I was not in their meeting or in any of their conversation, but that's when they started speaking all those things. And the plan was, if Bushiri does not give us 10 million, we'll make him to be arrested. Well, we arrest him not to make him to be arrested, because they claim that they've got the power to arrest. Even the day of a chopper, when a chopper came to church, it was Ngobeni and Daniel, you understand? They needed money, so they even told the prophet, you will see the chopper. If you don't give us money, that chopper will land down and you'll be arrested. And it happens. And I got to a point where I asked myself, is this all these things, what we are doing, is it worth it? Then when I say I want to keep quiet, this is what happens. We have some certain people from church, they will come, simplex, they'll come, no, you should expose these bastards, referring to the prophet. He has used us and he has made money alone, so we need to expose him and bring him down, you understand? So they will come to me and give me information, and they say, take this information to the Hawks, and if they need any girls, you can just come and tell us that you need a girl. We know how to bring these girls on about, so that they can go to the Hawks and they start speaking, so that they can have charges against the prophet. So I then got to a point like now where I said, what I'm doing, understand, it's not like I have destroyed his reputation, his name, his family, his ministry, all because of some certain people, individuals, you understand? Because there was a time that I wanted to pull out. I was even pointed with a firearm about 3 times with Daniel. You understand? I'll kill you, he will send threats, I'll move from this apartment to this apartment. Because if I say I don't want to do this about the prophet, you understand, they'll come after me. Even after the arrest of the prophet, the last arrest, Daniel started calling me. What do you want? The time that the prophet was in the prison, he said you need to come in and start speaking those things so that he does not get the bail. So I did not do that. I just went running around, and after the prophet got a bail, I got a call from the Hawks, from Murebi. apparently they had to make me to sign some certain papers that I have breached the contract. I'm like, which contract? They said you disappeared and you breached the contract because you went to Bushiri and you started telling him what we were planning and all those things. So at that time, when he went to Malawi, what made me now to come out and start speaking was simply because I had like a subpoena. They made me to sign. They said I defeated the hands of justice, corruption, because I was telling the prophet what was happening. And if I don't expose or if I don't come out and speak, they'll make me to be arrested. They made me to sign some certain forms at the Hawks. I signed those forms, and they even recorded the conversation that we were doing. You understand? But since I'm not in the position of saying anything, and if you say anything, these people, they can just simply arrest you for no reason. And they said you need to now do some shows. That's when I was connected to Moja Love to start doing some shows where I'll be exposing, actually destroying the name of the prophet. And they said we must destroy it until the whole church closes. Even his pastors were like, as we don't want the church to be closed, but there are some certain people, like the people that were working close to the prophet, you need to expose them so that they can be arrested or they can be chased out of South Africa, because these people, they are stopping us from getting the money. It was said by Pastor Sandy. And so I have come to a conclusion, or to a point of saying, let me do this video, you understand, and say I'm really sorry for what has happened, and I don't want to be part of these things. You understand? When I say I don't want to be part of these things, I'm referring to people like Daniel. I'm referring to people of Walks, Abo, Morebi. I'm referring to people like Ngobeni. I don't want to be part of this. Can you allow me to live my life and be a person? I came here to work and I came here to look for a job, and what I need is for me to feed my family and to feed myself and to find myself doing something in life. So I think I'm done with these things, and I'm really sorry. My apology goes to ECG at large, the Prophet Bushiri's family. When I say the family, I mean the relatives. When I say the family, I mean the wife, the brothers, all the things that I have said against you. I'm really sorry. I hope you find it in your heart to forgive me.